I believe we should be live from a quiet, quaint, little undisclosed village in the East Lothian area. And I have a special guest. Becci Wallace is in the house. Becci, can you hear me?
Hello, hi. How you doing, Mark? You're so
good.
secretive. You're so elusive with your secret locations.
Well, I just don't want anyone to find me. I don't want anyone to talk to me.
It's that post-festival season quiet, innit?
Yeah, well, I just think that if I told people where I was, somebody that I know would live like in the same village and would go and end up going to the pub or something. So it's like,
right. That's the obviously being popular,
that'd be it's no, they would just be asking if they can get a shot at a festival or something. But yeah, I just don't want to. I'm just trying to enjoy some quiet, some space away. Festival season, as you know, it's quite a lot.
And, it is indeed.
And I've just cancelled Solfest, my first ever gig that I've cancelled. But I'm not doing Solfest this weekend. I can't.
That's a shame.
I'm moon-bitted to the max. I can't do it. It's agony. It's all right if I'm sitting.
It's a lot of walking, man. Even if you get a good parking space, it's still a lot of walking, and then you've got to lug all your gear, and then there's the inevitable many side quests that you're going to need to go on.
Or even if I can't do the side quests and I'm just going to be sitting like a kid that's been told they can't get any ice cream at the beach or something. Do you know, I'll be raging because I'll be all these bands that I want to see, but they're miles away. So it's not, and it's like, I think it's about 3 hours drive to Cumbria as well. So it's a lot. So I'm not doing
it. But got a lovely letter from Cumbria, a nice parking fine. No, a speeding fine from Cumbria, just there. So I'm in Cumbria's bad books.
Well, just don't pay them. I think I've got friends
that get any trouble. You get in knuckles.
No, I've got friends that give really bad advice that just say, yeah, I don't know, you just say that you're sovereign or something, and then you don't need to pay it. And that's
what friends would that be?
Oh God, good friends. But I don't always take legal advice off them. In the same way that I've also got beautiful, hippie friends that I don't take medical advice from with regards to my foot or my back injury that I had before, but it's just like, you know, Reiki, and I'm like, just stay away from the injury, just stay away till we've got the NHS.
All the Reiki vibes, man, is one step over for me, just one step too far over the cuckoo's nest. But I love all my Reiki friends.
Aye, shout outs to the Reiki friends. This is not a diss. It's just like here, I'm open-minded and skeptical about a lot of things. And I have actually, I think these things can work. I think, for example, the smell of sage, I was skeptical about that. But whether it's placebo or not, see, before I'm a bit anxious before I go on stage, somebody's got sage, I go, sage me. And for whatever reason, that thing works. So I'm open-minded. It's just that when I've got an actual painful injury, I just want all my happy friends to stay away from the injury.
I like
just for a wee bit.
A kind of hippie quote that was just like sage before stage, though. Like sage. That's cool.
Yeah, it's the sage manager. You need a sage manager, stage manager. But yeah, I'm still going to Glasgow tomorrow. So if you're listening to this on Thursday, you might be listening to an audio podcast, and it's too late. But 22nd, Friday, 22nd of August, tomorrow, we are playing. Gyro Babies are playing a gig with Jeremy Corbyn, Tina Sandwich, and Callum Baird as part of the Music for the Many charity. And then the big ones, the bar is on the 31st of August for Soapy Fest. And I just feel like going to the festival would probably put the Barra's gig at risk. So,
in jeopardy. We don't need that, man. That's a big one. That's the one that counts.
It is. So, but anyway, that's enough about me. That's me getting my plugs out the way. You've just finished an album. And you've had a busy summer as well. I nearly came to Elder Park, but once again, it was just I was just worried about I'd end up having a couple of beers and walking too much or something.
Yeah, man. I've got one of those conditions where I don't say no to people, but also it's been a busy summer. It's been a busy summer. Elder Park was a belter. So was the Hip Hop Festival down in Queen's Park, and then obviously we've had Doon and wee bits and bobs everywhere, you know. So it's been great fun.
You played You Call That Radio's wee Solarfest. That was a good set.
Oh my God, that was so good. Like, and honestly, hats off to you, Mark, because that that was one of my favourite gigs of the year, honestly. It was just a great wee atmosphere. And I felt really sorry for the campers though, because the next morning there was a big storm, which was such a shame. But hopefully people got up early and got out.
No, it passed though. There was two people, if you either get caught in the storm or if you just waited, it ended up being a beautiful day.
Oh,
on
that's
the Sunday.
good. But yeah, Solar Fest was fantastic, man.
It started raining. I mean, Sunday night, Monday morning was bad. That is true. But it's just that's the thing. At the end of the day, we've been quite lucky in Ireland. It's a storm as you go home, but it's lovely while you're there. And
a wee wobbly boat.
Yeah, a wee wobbly boat home. But when you're doing anything that involves the great outdoors in Scotland, you've just got to take what you can.
Oh, we've had a good one.
Yeah, this has been a strange. It's been a strange summer for weather. My friends in Mexico, it's rained. I was talking to Helia and Paul, my friends over there. It's rained for 3 months there.
Wow.
This summer.
Wow.
I mean, this is their winter. It is their rainy season, but it's not normal for them to have that much rain. In fact, I think they might end up coming back to Manchester for a bit of sunshine.
Bit of sunshine. That's nuts, isn't it? It's like the tropical weather slowly moving over, man. I used to love that though when I was in Thailand, like on the rainy season, it would be like just bucketing monsoon rain, and then the second it stopped, all this steam would come up for the pavement, because it was just so hot. So the second it stopped, it was just like a big steam just came up, man.
Yeah,
it was really cool. Like, I'd be up for getting 3 seasons over here if we had a hot season. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think let's give her. Let's just do a petition like Scandinavia, who been to Sweden before, and it's like cold in the winter but nice in the summer, and I think that's fair because it's a long winter, so it can be quite depressing if it's just going to be shite all. But yeah, and also speaking of pavements. What do you call? Is it pavement potholes? So that's basically what I'm trying to avoid. I never even thought of it before. I've got a total new respect for accessibility as well. For anybody who's in wheelchairs or in crutches or whatever, the pavements are fucked.
There's so many trip hazards, man.
Yeah, it's like if it's not even, it feels like a knife's going into my foot. So hence the reason I'm not doing it. But anyway, it's not about me. It's not about my foot. It's about starting a wrestling podcast. That's why we're here today.
Oh my God, I am desperate to start. I feel like Scotland hasn't got enough wrestling podcasts, and that we would be the weird we'd be the random, unexpected duo that could pull it off in a big way, man.
Right. Well, just to fill people in, right? Becky wants to start a wrestling podcast. I'm not really up for it since I'm struggling to find time to do my own podcast. But we could maybe do a special on here for occasion. The problem I've got is, I love the I love the wrestling documentaries. I grew up with it, but I don't really like the product just now. I'm not a big fan of it. It's a bit PG. It's a bit safe, and obviously it's probably a good thing because everybody that I watched died before they were 40, pretty much.
Yeah,
because it was not a safe environment.
Yeah.
All the greats, it wasn't a safe. It was there was too much drugs, drink. There was too much like jumping high from
too
high.
Much jumping, aye.
Too much jumping,
falling.
Too much barbed wire.
Case, aye.
Chair shots as well. But yeah, maybe what we could do is we could do a special on like something that actually happened in the olden days. I'd be interested in talking about some of the old stories.
Yeah, me too. But I'm totally into the new school as well.
What's good about the new school? What's good about the new stuff?
It's more like the long-term storylines. So like there's some really, can't swear, but the rubbish ones, like as always. But the PG era's kind of ended now, and there's this kind of wee bit more aggression, a wee bit more ECW style stuff coming in. Although it's not like, it's still got to appeal to a wider audience. So it's quite capitalist and commercial, but also the long-term storytelling, when it's done right, is absolutely brilliant. And there's a lot more creative freedom, I think, for the artists, so to speak, especially in WWE, now that there's no Vince McMahon.
We'll talk about Vince in a minute. What about AEW? They were in Glasgow last night. I got offered a ticket. My mate Scott offered me a ticket last night, a free couple of tickets, but I got the message too late. Also, I'm in the wrong part of Scotland, and also I've got a moon boot, so I wasn't going to be able to go anyway. Would you have went to that? I mean, it was like 60 quid a ticket. I wasn't paying that. I mean, although it's cheaper than WWE, I don't know the people well enough. I know that Grado made a surprise appearance.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, obviously, it's much more kind of indulgent of the kind of indie roots of wrestling, but then it's like it's got hundreds of like old WCW and WWE folk, and then people often go over there. So it's got a weird mix of like indie wrestlers who are coming up and trying to make a name for themselves, and there is that kind of taste of like then they'll get to a certain ceiling and go over to WWE, but they've also got the legends there. So you've got like Edge and Christian there. You've got like even fucking Ric Flair's got a contract there. Like there's all these kind of people cutting about. So like, there's a wee bit of kind of wrestling prestige there. But that's also ran by a massive billionaire who just kind of likes wrestling, but he doesn't have a lot of creative kind of flair or spark. So there's some mad storylines.
Yeah,
Mr. Khan. No, Tony Khan.
Tony Khan.
Nick Khan runs WWE.
Yeah.
All the cans, man. Because they can.
Why? Because they can.
Because they can.
You're going to be a wrestler. You're going to be a wrestler. Is that still happening?
I was training. Well, I promised myself I would do a match before I'm 40. It'll be the only match I ever do, obviously. And I want to like write the song for it, like make the character. Do you know what I mean? Just do the whole thing and then make a music video. It's funny because I think if it wasn't for lockdown, all this like love for this sport or entertainment, whatever it is, when I came back, but during lockdown I got right back into like wrestling with shadows and all the Dark Side of the Ring stuff, and then like from there it just pure exploded. So like I would definitely be up for, or I'm going to try to before I'm 40, making a video and then like making the song and doing a match and making that part of it. So I was training at the Iron Girders gym for a bit. I've actually had to stop right now because I have this PhD that's got to be finished soon. But the second that's out the way, man, I'll be back in there and hopefully get a match filmed and done before I'm 40. Whether it'll be like a public thing, I don't know, but I'm definitely going to do it. And I've learned some stuff already. Like I can take a bump and I know how to like do certain moves, but nothing pure fancy, you know.
I get booed off stage by 800 wrestling fans. I jumped in the ring, started shouting, get a job, get a job, get a job. It was part of a song. And then they all started booing me. And then I fell over the ring. I fell over the ropes and everyone laughed at me.
I think that's a glorious appearance. Like,
and then because obviously I hadn't had a chance to test it out. But Dallas said, you're allowed to go in the ring if you want. So I went for it. And then I kind of stumbled over it and everyone went, sort of. And then I just started sort of shouting at the audience.
So and the ropes are a lot bouncier and the ring's a lot harder than you think. Like the floor's really hard and the ropes are really bouncy and like so yeah, that sounds
also
fun.
The only time I ever dropped a microphone as well. Sorry once again to the classic grand sound engineer, but I actually dropped the mic because I was just in Ric Flair mode. I felt like the bad guy. I was getting booed. The adrenaline was going through my system. Poor John McCrory. It was his first ever gig. He didn't know what was going on. You know what I mean? He's probably just turned up while we smoked, thinking a nice wee quiet night, and it was chaos. But yeah, I kind of like that idea. But let's get back to the PhD. What's the PhD on?
Well, it's basically it's about hip hop and it's about using hip hop in community spaces, and like the value of using hip hop for me has been like I'm a songwriter, as you know, but in community spaces, like I'm a creative practitioner, and I often get put. Probably because I'm where I'm from as well, and some of my associations, shall we say, I often get put into spaces where I'm working in prisons or working like in like halfway houses or working with people in recovery and stuff like that. And I would find over and over again that like hip hop was the thing that was most accessible, the thing that we could work together on and create music with. So my PhD is about like using hip hop as a way to raise attainment in schools and like thinking about how we can like take people's community music experiences and basically mark them, like quantify them so that their attainment can be raised. Because like there's wee guys cutting about who might not be able to pay attention in English, but they can write a 32-bar banger. Do you know what I mean? And like, so it's kind of about like finding other ways to quantify education and using hip hop to do that in community spaces and education as well. So it's nearly done, but it's horrible. I hate it. I love it and hate it, man. It's a horrible feeling.
Oh, I mean, I've never made it to PhD level. How many words are we talking?
About 120,000. I'm sitting at about 75, 80 now. I know it's stinking and I'm such a bad writer. Like, I'm honestly an accidental academic, right? That's the truth. I'm mad. Like, I can talk, I can make things, I can make tunes, I can do art, I can do hundreds of stuff. But see, if you ask me to sit down and write something, my brain is fried. It's obviously like ADHD mind, do you know what I mean? But I found a new way to do it right now, which I'm enjoying, which is just to talk. So I've kind of trained my dictator to understand my accent, and then like I can kind of talk it out, because right now I'm talking about like
speech to text.
Yeah.
So is that what do you use? What do you use for that? Because I tried that years ago on holiday. It was my idea because I didn't have a pen and a pad, and then. But they did not know my accent. That was about 4 years ago or something.
No, but mine neither, man. Like at first when I was doing it, the stuff that I thought I was saying was hilarious, and I realised that Scots must have a very similar like twang to Arabic, because hundreds of Arabic words get coming up, and I was like, oh my god, what's going on? But now like it just knows my voice better if you keep doing it. Do you know what I mean? So like it's been a revelation. Obviously, you can't use the dictator if you're like sitting doing like academic theory, but if you're like just want to talk about what's happened or explain something or like express a thought, it's really good for that, man. Like, and I think like it's my whole PhD is about finding new ways for people to learn and for learning to be quantified. So it makes sense that I would do it in a different way as well. Do you know what I mean? That's hip hop.
So can you mention that in your PhD?
Oh, I like there's this. I don't want to bore. If there's people listening, I don't want to pure bore.
Well, there's people. Well, we just talk to them about wrestling, and I'll tell you what, wrestling's one of them. You're one of the only people that goes, "Oh, I love the wrestling stuff." Nobody cares. Nobody cares about wrestling. In fact, what we got? Hold on, we got a. Is it Epi saying? I haven't a clue as the pantomime of wrestling, but I have respect for the talent and skills such as choreographed, creative dance.
It's just dancing, really, isn't it? It's the same thing.
It's dancing,
a bit more pain.
Dancing with a lot more pain. Mary's saying, great to see. What time's the gig at Slay? We are working on that. I know it's only tomorrow, but it's a lot of people involved in the gig tomorrow. So we will either be on first, second, or third. But the doors open at 7 o'clock, and
basically come for the whole gig.
Yeah, get there about 7, half 7, and you won't miss anything. And we should have everyone finished by 10, and you'll be back home. We are Bovril in your baffies by 11. Well, I think we've got it to 11. So, lovely. Yeah, come along. We're listening. Hello, Ali Grant is in the house. Oh, we're listening, so we might be live in Solfest. I think that's what that means. Hello, Solfest. I hope you have a brilliant weekend. I'm gutted I'm not going to be there. Kit Kat's in the house. Hello, Kit Kat's. Actually, do you want to give us a wee tune? We'll try a wee tune.
Aye.
Because obviously we are here to talk about Becci's album. Also, I've got an album out yesterday, but Dreams Are Mental is out now. But it's not about me. It's about the new album from Becci Wallace and Steg G right now. We normally would play something off of YouTube, but
do you know what? I don't even know if I'm going to play something for the album. I'm just going to play something. How's that sound?
Okay, that sounds fine. Just play what you like.
I might play something on the album if it's just a bit. All the guitar tunes are a bit sad. Do you know what I mean? So like,
well, just go for it. I'll just do whatever you want.
Oh, here actually, I will play one then. I'll play this song called "The Urge to Pray," right? So, this song's called "The Urge to Pray." It's on me and Steg G's album. It's going to sound very different like this. Hopefully you enjoy it. Tell me more about your worries, how the sun don't shine for you. Come to me apparitional, trust grief, the last great miracle, breeze blocks of lucid visions. Oh, you got this, why so miserable? We kiss like kindred spirits though, lips sealed the bliss of letting go. Speak not your words of sacrifice, lay bare the facts, lay bare the lies. For all my different ways. Loose talk and certain disarray, I call it unpredictable. You say it's something spiritual. We touch the tremors, shake us down. Skin flushed and jealous of the sound. Speak not, your words are biblical. Laid bare, I guess I'm cynical. How the sun don't shine for you, I assume, because I always assume you believe because you do. Oh, tell me more about your worries. How the sun don't shine for you, I assume, because I always assume you believe because you do. I choose not to dabble in magic. I tried it before, it was tragic. Alone with a light and a matchstick. Spark it and watch it catch fabric. Learn how to feel from the outside. Learn how to deal with a torn mind. Find apparitions in plain sight. Fear of the daylight. Primal, the urge to just pray, right? Make superstitions of grudges. Curse it, cause that's not what love is. Learn how to feel for the sake of. Learn how to deal with the payoff. And never know how to break up. Guilty for all I consume and for all that I do. Guilty in every room and for what I go through. Tell me more. How the sun don't shine for you, I assume, because I always assume you believe because you do. Oh, tell me more about your worries. How the sun don't shine for you, I assume you believe because she wants a love that she wants. She wants a love that she wants. He wants a love that he longs. He wants a love that he longs for. She wants a love that she wants. She wants a love that she wants. He wants a love that he longs. He wants a love that he longs for.
Class.
There you go.
From the new album?
That is from the new album. It's
After
called
the Fog Air.
Oh, After the Fog Air, yep. And it doesn't sound like that on the album because it's got all Steg's amazing production on it. So we're working it out right now because we're very luckily got some funding to do a tour, which will be in 26. But it's like just working out how to like translate all that into like a kind of band setting, you know, which is cool. Thanks for that, for letting me play that. That was fun, actually. I've not played it myself in ages.
So I know it sounds amazing, and obviously so yeah, how are you going to do it as a band? Because it's it was almost like trip hop sounding stuff from Steg. Would you agree with that? The kind of
I think like I'm going with folk hop as the genre, but but it's like I guess like or dark folk or something. I don't know, but some of it's much more like boom, 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 like a bit more kind of trip hoppy, or it's got a bit of a beat to it. And then some of it's much more introspective. So like the story of the album, like the story of our bloody lives, and certainly mine over the last few years is like coming out of lockdown and just being like absolutely like on one, like just being like pure. I was dead lucky through lockdown. I mean, we spoke a lot through lockdown, Mark, you know, and that's when I started this PhD. And you know, like I really got my head screwed on, man. I think like I got into fight or flight mode and I chose fight. And like I just like done a lot and got a lot ready and set in place. I got song seeds started. I got all this. So I came out of lockdown feeling a bit like a big man. Know what I mean? And like I had like a lot of self-confidence, but also I was a bit arrogant, you know? So like 21, 22, like I was kind of, I guess I was kind of like telling other people how to live. You know, and then like something comes your way and it's massive and it crashes everything you're doing, and then you have to take a wee minute and go, wait a minute, I don't know what I'm doing. So the story of the album starts really outwards, because when I first started writing it, I was thinking of like a really cheesy like wee self-help book. Like I went to Steg and I was just like, do you want to just do a pure cheesy pop album and we'll just like go for the Say Awards and do all that mad stuff and just do something pure commercial because we can. And like, so we start, I mean, lots of songs, as you can imagine, didn't make the album. But so we started with this idea, like 5 or 10 tips to a better life kind of vibe, you know what I mean? And we'll just be like you, like the album's like about a you and what you should do and you should deal with it and all that stuff. And then by the end of the album, I was like, I need help. I can't do anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it takes a mad journey where it like, and I think like we do that in life, don't we? We go through like parts of life where we're like the main character in the movie. And then like parts of life where we're like, oh shit, someone tell me, someone tell me how to live, or someone tell me what to do next. Because and I've certainly, like in the biggest way since I was, probably in the most real way since I had my kids, like had to like face that in the last few years, you know. So it's taken that journey. So lots of it is kind of old school, traditional Becci Wallace. And that was fun working with Steg G on that, because like we were both confronted with like having to work to this new way of working, you know. Like Steg's a very technical practitioner, and he's very like bish bash bosh, get it in, get it done, and then we'll like iron out the aesthetic as we go. And I'm like a pain in the arse artist who's just like, I've got this vision, do you know what I mean? And like, so one of the favorite things about this album for me is that outcome has come from just, I feel like me and Steg have become like unlikely like best buds in this weird collaborative space where we're both so different and the energy's so different, you know. And we're dead similar as well, obviously, in some ways. Like we both like a good cup of tea and a good bit of hip hop. So that's like our connective tissue, you know what I mean? But the rest of it's like I've been like having to give up. Like Steg will be like, what you try to say? And I'll be like, I'm trying to say I'm sad. And he'd be like, so just bloody say that then, instead of writing a sonnet about it. Do you know what I mean? So like that's been cool. Just like Steg's been a real voice of like just wisdom, obviously, and guidance, but also just like, now's not the time for that. Now's the time for this. And then on the other hand, I've been like helping Steg with things like mad like switch up in rhythmic patterns and tempos and timings, because hip hop's so 4/4. Do you know what I mean? So like. Yeah. So it's been cool, man. We've had a blast like making it, and I think the music sounds dead different for both of us, but that's what I'm loving about it right now. And I'm loving like it's a listening album. Like you need to, the first time it's just a passive kind of vibe. It's got a great wee vibe. Second or third time you'll feel that story coming out a wee bit more, you know.
Well, that's why I said Spotify killed the album and then released my album on Spotify. What a hypocrite.
No, you're not a hypocrite. You're someone that wants your album to be heard, but it's so tough, Mark. I did it too, under the radar, not even told anyone about it yet. So this is exclusive. Yeah. But mine
exclusively. So your album's on Spotify, but you've not told anyone.
I've not told anyone yet because
That's cool. That's cool. That's underground. No, but don't say it. Just say like, yeah, I put my album on Spotify, but I didn't tell anyone.
Yeah, I put it on, whatever. Whatever.
Yeah, whatevs.
Did you put it on Spotify? Yeah, so did I, but I'm not saying anything about it.
I'm not telling anybody about that. I'd be mortified to admit it. That's what I felt.
It was like, only last week I put mine on, and then you put a hang up saying you were putting yours on. I was like, I'll just leave this announcement.
Yeah, well, it was a kind of combination of things, because for a while, originally I was inspired by Jinx Lennon, who puts like I think he does like 18 track albums. He puts 4 songs up that you can listen to in Bandcamp, and I think 4 on Spotify. But to hear the album, any of his albums, you need to buy the album.
Yeah.
And he does not give any shit. He's got a really loyal fan base. In fact, we're going on tour, an Irish tour with Jinx Lennon in November. So stay tuned for info on that. But so I was like, that's a bit extreme. And then obviously with the Loki album, I know that you were involved with that as well. I remember talking. So obviously I was talking with Dan quite a lot during that release, and I thought that there was a lot of things that he did really well with that by just sticking to his guns and not. Is he still not released his album on Spotify?
Well,
that was December.
But the thing is with Darren, with Darren's music, obviously there is the fact that he is Loki, right, and that has got a lot of, you know, positives, especially in terms of what he can sell. So like we kind of knew going into his launch in December that we would hold it back and we would keep it held back. And it was actually, funnily enough, it's funny how the domino effect happens, because I took that idea and advice from Carla Easton, who, even though she does have a Spotify presence, like, Carla is not focused on that. She's focused on getting out, doing gigs and selling merch. So, like, a lot of the stuff that Darren had at his launch, the zine and the t-shirt, which I obviously took pride in preparing for him, that stuff was a great kind of prototype test to see, well, where do you make the money? And at the end of the day, if anybody's listening to this and thinking, why are they talking about money? We spend our whole lives making music to make something back for it, like to break even is like,
yeah, that's the point. It costs a lot of money.
You know what I mean?
It costs a lot of money to make an album, and the amount of time and the amount of also your album, Darren's album, my album, Jinx, Lynn's album, all these albums, they're concept albums that it's like every lyric is
to listen to them
it's not, yeah, it's just like you've got to listen from start to finish. If you skip songs, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
the whole thing is a long. Look, if you want, here, I'll make it. Do you know what I should do? I should do for the crack is just make a new project and just knock out an album a month. No bother. I've got boxes of lyrics. I've got
on Spotify
storage.
On
Spotify.
I've got an idea for my next EP, which is going to be just called Love Songs After They Were Cool, because I've got so many like terrible songs that are just like not cool, but I just want to put them out. I'm so sick of sitting on songs, you know, like, but I think that's what the LP's for, man, and I think that's what is kind of cool about the resurgence of vinyl, although it's in a small way, because if you've got 50 people in your life that love your music and come, and you've got more than that, Mark. I mean, I'm talking about myself and obviously Darren, maybe even, you know, with his book and all that, got a wider audience still. But if you've got a small bespoke group of people that care about you and your music and they're going to buy your vinyl, then if you invest in 100 vinyl, that's going to pay back your album, and it's going to also support your tour, and you're going to be able to nurture that fan base and give them something like, and for me, I mean, you're talking 60, 70 people that will probably buy my music in the span of its release. I'm cool with that. But I want to be able to give them something tangible. So those wee zines that I've made, these ones here, I just happen to have this. And it's got like, and I've like, these are just pictures that me and Steg got took. And then like, I've got all the songs in there. There's a digital download and blah, blah, blah. Stuff like that, really great for having, because it's cheap, it's free to make, and it's cheap, and you can give people that come to your stuff something, know what I mean, and say thanks. I remember $5 or whatever, you know.
I remember, I seen Tam the Van's fridge recently. I noticed that he's got one of our digital postcards that we were giving out in 2012. And it was a digital postcard. And this is before QR codes. Well, QR codes did exist, but they were kind of like were called a fad because the phones couldn't handle the scandal of QR codes.
Couldn't work.
It was kind of like a bit a fad that never really took off. So we didn't even do that. We would just basically charge a digital postcard while we're on tour. Pay what you like for a digital postcard, and the artwork was amazing. I think that was Martin Ewan that did that. And then it just had the links to our stuff.
Yeah.
So people think, it's like, do you want to buy a digital postcard? People are like, fucking yes, I'll have a digital postcard. This is 2012. This sounded like the future.
I mean, that's futuristic as hell, man. Do you know what I mean?
I know, but all it was just a postcard that looked good with some links on it. What you actually had to type in the links. And that,
what
and people just paid what they want. Well, it was good because some people would pay 50 pence, some people would pay a tenner. It really was good.
Exactly.
People do want something physical, but you've also got to invest in the physical stuff as well.
You do.
No, and with regards to the Spotify thing, so what I think that I did wrong, just in case anyone's listening and trying to steal our ideas, I know you are. I know someone is. But obviously, I stole my ideas for Becky, Loki, and Jinx Lennon. And I think what I did right was, I think that does work. I think having the album launch in March, maybe what I could have did was, but obviously the reason I make my album to the deadline is because by announcing that the album launch is happening, that means that everybody's got to move a bit faster.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. See, I'm telling you, Mark, this is your brain. It's my brain. It's like this. Yeah. Make a deadline and it'll get done.
We'll get it done.
And it's getting done, but not for years. The second there's a deadline, if you tell me tomorrow this work I've got to do is due next week, I'll write that 100,000 words.
And that's why you're saying earlier, just before we went on stage, we're talking about, before we came on air, sorry, we're talking about perfectionism. That's why I don't think I've got that, because I do feel like I'm, compared to a lot of my friends and former bandmates and stuff like that, I feel like I do have the ability to go, this is done. Like I maybe I don't know if I get sick of it, but I just go, do you know what? I think this is done. Obviously, there's always at the back of my head, there's a couple of things that I'd like to change already, but you can't think about that.
I mean, I think that your sound is the Gyro Baby sound kind of is, you know, owed that as well, because there is that kind of rawness to it, and like that's good that you can make those. I'm not the same as that. I get, like, I hold stuff back sometimes. Do you know what I mean? But not in a live sense. Like I'm much more confident live, but like with the recorded stuff, I find that a lot harder to just let go of, man. You know what I mean? I'm never happy with it, ever.
Nah. Well,
but that's cool that you've got that energy. This is done.
No, I get it. Just done. It's done. And I feel like that, you know, even when with music videos, you know, I love making videos with Martin Windybank or whatever. And
legend.
He is a legend, but he will be spending. That's why I think he likes co-editing with me, because we get it done quick. Because he'll spend a long time on a shot that you're only seeing for 2 seconds, getting the yellows right and
that's quite, I get that, man. Like,
and it's a wee bit too much colour grade. He's worried too much about colour grading on a split second shot, and I'm just like, right, this has been 20 minutes now. It's fine. Let's move on. And I think
it is probably good that you're there to support him in that as well, because like I've just done 28 videos for a charity that I'm working with, right?
What?
And it's
28,
like
what kind of videos?
So there's like 6 of them are online, like an online songwriting course. 13 or 14 of them are a band lab tutorial from start to end, making a song. And then the other ones are actually on zine making, being a music journalist. So it's for like a specific group of young people. But it took me so long because I'm getting paid for it. And if I'm getting paid for something, I'm a perfectionist. But when it's my own stuff, I'm not getting paid for it. So I'm not a perfectionist. I'm just like, whatever, especially if I'm doing a live gig or whatever, or do you know what I mean? So there's a weird, like if I was mixing your vocals, I would get it done to the deadline quick and in the best way possible. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm just off my nut. So there you go.
No, but no, it does make sense. It's like when you do, I don't know. There was a sound engineer that once I can't remember who it was that said it, but the sound engineer was doing a free charity gig, and a woman came up to him and says, "I don't think it's very professional that you're drinking on the job." And he went, "You're not paying me, do you know? So that therefore I'm not supposed to be a professional. I'm an amateur." He did a good job anyway, but just. Yeah,
if you much somebody got up and saying that to him in it. Was he like, he's not like acting
no,
like
no, not at all. Not at all. No, if he was, I wouldn't have mentioned the story. Because it was just like
you know what I mean?
It's just like, he's just like, but yeah, I think, especially I think sometimes charities can sometimes get a wee bit over the top where they think, you know, that we do loads of charity stuff as much as we can, but I've got really good at spotting the good charities or the good ones. I'm not dealing with somebody that's on 40 grand a year to tell me to bring the back line, do everything, promote it. You know, there is, and also I think in general I don't like the big charities. Like I don't want to, you know, I don't want to research cancer because we can only raise a $1,000 or $2,000 at the most. We're not going to cure cancer. So why don't 100%. We do something like? But then someone like the Beatson or Marie Curie Glasgow, which actually you can actually see the difference that stuff like that makes. And you know, things like Sonny Govan or just anyone that's I feel like anything that's a wee bit more local that I can see. Or it doesn't need to be local, but it's about what. Would $2,000 really make a difference to this person? So I'm away from all the multinational big corporate people. I understand they've got the argument that you've got to pay the good wages to get the best people. But in my experience, they're not getting the best people. I don't know who these people are on. And I don't know they're on $50,000 a year. How are they?
It's just a conveyor belt of business folk, man, that take on charity jobs. It's like, I don't want to say too much, but it's like the way universities work. Do you know what I mean? Same vibe. Like someone comes in that's a figurehead, that doesn't mean that they have like there's plenty of people in the charity that obviously really care and work really hard, but the figurehead is not always the one. I feel you, man. I'm much more open to and absolutely love and support all our local charities, but especially the arts-based ones. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm big on them, and actually a lot of our community radio stations aren't just community radio stations. They're doing everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, shout outs to Sonny Govan, because and Glad Radio as well. Like, the amount of stuff that they're doing in the community is crazy. Cam Glen as well. Like,
we just did a podcast at Glad, the Deep End Studios. That's Govan Hill Bass. They're doing loads of stuff in Glad Radio.
Yeah,
the Deep End. So we've got the audio podcast that came out this week with Carl Easton, who you just mentioned, Larissa and Jim, and it's like it's mind-boggling, especially just after the Govan Hill Festival there, like what all the stuff that they're putting together. And shouts to Cam Glen as well. I think Cam Glen are doing a similar. Obviously, I'm a wee bit further removed from Cambuslang and Rutherglen area. But
yeah, that's Pam Curry's guys, but they're amazing as well.
And Derek,
great studios. Oh, Derek, what a legend! I was on with him.
And they're doing, and they've got their festivals and stuff as well. And so it's like it's more than radio. It's like they're taking people in and showing them how to do everything from songwriting to
it's community making, you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Like, and that's why these charities withstand, that's not the word, stand the test of time. You know, like me and Darren were talking about this the other day when you saw the Elder Park Festival, man. Like, obviously Govan is just absolutely soaked in goodwill and fantastic kind of charities and stuff, but like the stuff that network of charities are doing in that area, man, that is, I'm not single-handedly, but one of the big catalysts for why that area is so community focused and why it feels like when you're in Govan, there's a feeling, even though, you know, there's the usual stuff going on that comes with being in a scheme. Like, in Govan, there is a feeling, man, and that feeling is like community. You can actually feel it on the streets. And actually, similarly in Easterhouse, places like that, because of the amount of goodwill that comes from the arts charities. Again, to circle back to my PhD, that's what this is all about. Like, it's like, don't discount the value and impact of the arts on someone's well-being in the long term. Do you know what I mean? The idea that it's not valuable or it doesn't merit as much recognition as like someone that's going to train to be a doctor or a scientist, that's all amazing. We need that. But like an orator, like a poet, a musician that can impact and support people, that is so important as well, man. Like, even more so now when people like don't have work to go to, there's not jobs. There's no jobs. There's no jobs, Mark. What we got to do about the jobs?
The robots have taken the job. I could be doing me a job. In fact, I could be doing me a house. If anyone's got either of those, give us a shout. Mid-September, festival season's over, and I'll be moving again. And I've moved in a lot of places, and I agree completely with it. There's a feeling in Govan. I remember that because when I first moved to Govan, it was about 15 years ago or something, and I was feeling a wee bit on edge because, you know, I'd heard things, and
of course,
but it was a great place to stay, and people were just chatting the street to each other. Same with Govan Hill. They're the only two places that I think I've lived that I've actually thought I can feel this community. I've enjoyed living in places like Denniston and stuff, but it's not got the community. In fact, right now, somebody please tell me what is going on between Reedvale and Bluevale. So it's like two of the housing organisations are fighting with each other. And there's all these anonymous participants in the Denniston information. I'm going to investigate this and do a You Call That Radio special on it, because I lived there for a long time and I've not got my opinion yet, but I'll have one soon.
You're going to blow the story wide open? No,
I just want to know. I want to know why everybody's fighting. I didn't. Yeah. It's like, it's the weirdest. It's almost like a corporate gang fight, or like a bureaucratic gang fight between.
Well, the third sector can get a wee bit fighty as well, man. Like,
I know
they can get a bit intense, man. They get a bit intense at times. My theory is just focus on your own stuff and hope for the best. But you certainly blow that wide open for sure, man. Someone needs to do it. It needs to be you.
Yeah,
overheard in the East End. It'll be
overheard in the East End. No, right. I did do the third sector. It's freelance. I'm not usually got a real. I usually get freelance work.
Right.
So I don't really have to get too involved. But I remember one time I did social media for a third sector. I'm not going to say who that is, but because they do good work as well. They do good work. They do good work as well. But I had no idea.
You can get bitten. I had a terrible experience recently.
I had no idea. I had no idea it was going to be that. It's like if I can't give away what they do because then everyone will know who it is. They'll be able to figure it out. But they do good stuff, and it's a really good thing. So I naively assumed that everybody was going to be sound because they were working. But then, obviously, Jo at the time, she was like, "What? No, of course not." It's quite cutthroat. And then I get totally stabbed in the back, and I only had a 3-month contract, and I was pretty sure I was going to be made permanent. But the new boss and the other boss, they messed up big time, like really bad. And they basically did all the things that I advised against them doing. And then they just turned it on me. And I'm like, what? I was shocked.
That does my absolute nothing because at the top, right? So like, I'll try and make it short. But at the top, there is this thing where you have to look like you're doing the thing good. So they will happily stamp on. Some people will happily stamp on good practitioners to do that, but they'll also take their work sometimes and use it. And also sometimes it's not about the substance of what's actually been done. It's about the veneer of what it looks like on the top. I found that a lot. I don't mind saying it when I was working for Glasgow Life as a community officer. Like I did a lot of work for them back in the day, back in 2015 or whatever. And when I was starting out before I was freelance, and like, I mean, so much work would go into this. Like, I made this beautiful songwriting video, worked with these lassies, and we made all these songs, and and I got told time and time again I couldn't do songwriting. I was just to take this badminton club. And like after a while, I finally got to do the thing. I was like, this, I promise you this will help. And like finally got to do the thing in the community centre, and it was beautiful. And they made these amazing songs, and we made a video and like a report and all that. And they just took it off me and like presented it away from me at other conferences, like as if they had done it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm out. I am out of here. But that's the corporate charity, which is not as good, I guess.
And another guy just basically sabotaged my workshop I didn't know what was going on really, but I just knew that I was getting sabotaged. And then he told the other guy that my workshop wasn't up to scratch. And I was just like, and then I found out, I'm not going to say who, but somebody that works with him is also my friend, he just said that I was unprepared. Well, I'd actually brought obviously you've seen me in action. I'm still at the beginner level, you know, I'm not finished article with that kind of stuff, but I had brought my laptop with my, what do you call it, your sideshow that I think that you actually helped me invent the sideshow because I'd never used that software before, but he didn't let me take that out. And then he said that I was unprepared. And it's like this guy, it's almost like this guy thought I was trying to steal his job. And it's like, I'm not trying to steal your job. I don't care. I'm just like being offered a role doing something which I do really, I'm passionate about and I would like to do more of it. Do you know what? Just doing a one-off workshop for people that are wanting to learn how to write songs. And I've wrote a few songs and I thought I could have passed on some wisdom. I think Becci's disappeared just now. So it's a good time to tell you to go and get Becci's album at becciwallace.bandcamp.com. And also, thanks to the patrons who support the show. We can't do it without you. So you can get, if you go to patreon.com, hold on, patreon.com. And I'll read some of the comments out now. So patreon.com/ you call that radio. Support the show. We need you more than ever. And I've got some good guests lined up. Fuck Blueville says Colin. So yeah, I don't know. She's obviously in the Reedville side of the Denniston argument, but I don't really know what's going on. Hello, Stuart. How you doing? Going back to Becci's song, Mary said that was beautiful. And Epi says, love the line, guilty for all I consume. That's deep. Yeah, it's a great album. Steg G on the production. Go and check it out. It's 10-3, and I think Becci's gone. So I'm going to give her one more chance to log out and back in, because I think she's got maybe one more song, And then I think she's got to go and do the school run. So I think we'll get one more song from Becci Wallace. Tomorrow night at Slay, it's Gyro Babies, Tina Sandwich, and Callum Baird. It's the Music for the Many charity, hosted by Jeremy Corbyn. And it's not a political thing. It's, well, I suppose it's political in a sense. But Music for the Many is about saving independent venues. It's about helping working class musicians. It's about mental health in the music industry and stuff like that. So it's a really good cause, and we're glad to be part of it. So if you can make it to Slay tomorrow, then the doors should open about 7 o'clock-ish. The live music will start at 7:30. Not 100% sure on the running order, but we'll announce that later on. And then, of course, the big one is at the Barrel and Ballroom on the 31st of August. It's Colin Mustard, the Dijon 5, Gyro Babies, Mickey Nines. It's the Filthy Tongues, the Twistettes, hosted by Gavin Mitchell, aka Bobby the Barman. And on the tunes is Phil Jupitus is going to be DJing in between. So it's going to be a good. That's a Sunday, the 31st of August, from 6 o'clock. Warren Starry Sky kicking things off, actually, at 6 o'clock. And yeah, hopefully you can make it there. It's £25. All proceeds go to Mary Curie and the Beatson. So every single penny now is going to that. None of the bands are taking any money at all. We're doing it in honour of our friend Soapy, who raised lots of money for charity. So, and just to give him a send off at his favourite venue in the world. So, I mean, a lot of everyone can make it to the Barras gig. That's the big one. That's what we're looking forward to. And I'll be in a moon boot, so don't expect any dancing. Not that you get much dancing out of me. Anyway, and while we're waiting on Becci, I might as well just shout out my album, Dreams Are Mental, came out this week on all platforms. So even if you've already downloaded it in Bandcamp already, please just listen to it twice on Spotify. Put the streams up. That apparently appeases our robotic overlords, so it'll suggest it to more people. And that's really why I wanted it to go on Spotify, is because I don't want there to be a paywall for the music. So it feels like the right way to do it is if you pay, you get to hear the album before everybody. But then there's no paywall, so everyone can enjoy it for free on any platform they want. But please don't just pick and choose tracks. It should be listened to as a continuous piece from start to finish. It's only 42 minutes long. Give it a listen and let me know what you think. Thank you to everybody who has been listening or sharing it. It is much appreciated. And I don't know if Becci's coming back. Hold on, let me check. But Dreams Are Mental by the Gyro Babies. Oh, aye. And if you want to make it to the if we want to get at the charts, you need to buy it on Apple, I believe. I don't think we'll make it in the charts. It's a bit, but if you are considering buying it on Apple, if you're an Apple user, now is the time to do that. And let me just see if Becci's coming back. If she's not, I'll just wrap it up. But I think Becci's got a song for us. She sent a voice message. Hold on. Laptop crashed it. Okay. Right. Okay, so Becci's laptop crashed. So that is the end of the show. That is the end of the show. Thank you to everyone tuning in. I'm in a quaint little quiet undisclosed village in East Lothian. And it's good to know. Let me know in the comments if the internet worked okay. Because if that's the case, I've got some big name guests to bring on the show. I've been waiting to just make sure that the internet worked. So let me know if it sounded okay, if it looked okay. Did it glitch? Let me know. Because if it didn't glitch, then we'll do another show tomorrow. And we'll maybe just do a show every day. And just keep it going. It's podcast season. Festival season is nearly over. So it's podcast season. Stream is fine. Thank you, Kit Kats. Thank you. Always great. Thank you, Stuart. Internet worked fine. Well, that's good. Iona. Hello, Iona. Brilliant. That's amazing. Well, we'll hopefully do a show tomorrow. I'll take Saturday off and then do another show Sunday. And I think we're just going to try and do a show every day since I can't go to Solfest, which I'm gutted about. By the way, if you're a patron and you want to go to Solfest, I've got a couple of weekend passes to Solfest to give away. So if you sign up to Patreon, there's a couple of passes there for you. Likewise, I've got a couple of passes to give away to the Soapy Fest gig next Sunday as well. If you're a patron and you're a bit skint, let me know. Same goes for Slay tomorrow. It's music for the many, so I'm sure I can get you on the guestie if you fancy it. Gyro Babies, Jeremy Corbyn, Tina Sandwich, and Callum Baird. So that's tomorrow. I'll hopefully see you there. And thank you to Becci Wallace. Go and check her album out. You can. It's on Spotify. She hasn't told anyone, but you can actually check it out on Spotify right now, or buy it in Bandcamp. Support local music unless you live really, really far away. Then support really, really far away music. She call that radio. Bye.